I get requests for just short little snippet sessions, and also for anyone returning back to the mat or for anyone with injury. So I'm just going to do a 15-minute flow. It may be a bit shorter, that you may want to try in your own time. So I am going to be using a band. So if you could have one to hand, but don't worry if you don't, that will be absolutely fine too. I'll try and make sure it works with or without. So we're going to start, as always, if you've not been on the mat, if you've not done Pilates for a while, you've been injured, or if you're just trying to squeeze something in a rush, unless if you're looking obviously for something conditioning and high impact, which is not what this is about, we're going to start taking it right back to the floor. And I want you to feel with your feet, ankles and knees together, arms by your side, palms down. I want you to take your feet open at the front and bring the heels around. I want your feet lovely and light on the mat and parallel to each other and about hip width apart, and your knees the same distance. I want you to feel the back of your hips lovely and heavy on the mat, the back of your rib cage, your shoulders and the back of your head. Palms facing down, your hands and your forearms and your feet feel lovely and light on the mat. Now, I want us to start with the breath. So we're going to pop our hands on the rib cage with our fingertips just meeting in the middle. And I want you to start by taking the breath in through the nose, into your rib cage, and out through the mouth. So you breathe in, try and take that in into your rib cage, and breathe out through the mouth. Now, when you breathe out, you want to feel like you're breathing nice and evenly, as if you're breathing through a really large drinking straw. On the breath in, when you really get that air into your rib cage, you'll feel the rib cage expand. The fingertips will separate, maybe just slightly, and then come back together on the inhalation. And we're going to do that just for a few more times, so we really start getting into the zone and build our mind-body connection. Check your feet are still lovely and even on the floor. You can feel your big toe, actually your little toe, and all the toes in between. And this time we're going to bring our hands onto our abdominals, thumbs touching at our navel and the forefingers pointing down towards our pelvic bone. So we create a diamond shape in our abdominals. And in that diamond shape, I want you to imagine that there's a marble. I want you to breathe in, draw up from the toilet muscles and into the stomach muscles, into that marble, in that diamond area. Breathe out and release. Take another breath in. Again, draw up from your toilet muscles. Draw in your abdominals in that diamond area on your lower abdominals. And this time, try and hold that abdominal connection and breathe out and maintain those abdominal engagement there. And this time you can bring your arms by your side. If you lost that abdominal engagement, try again. Just breathe in, draw those abs in, breathe out, try and hold that abdominal engagement. If it doesn't happen, don't worry, just breathe. And now I want you to imagine that marble in the middle of that diamond is going to roll down towards your sternum. Use your abdominals, so keep your feet lovely and light on the mat. You feel your back imprint on the mat. Take a breath in there, draw those abs in again. Using the abdominals, roll the marble to the top of your pelvis. And again, the other way. Breathe in, draw the abs in. Roll the marble from the top of your pelvic bone all the way back down to your sternum. You'll feel your back imprint. Keep your legs lovely and still. It's your abdominals that are making this move. And then roll that marble, that imaginary marble, all the way back down to the top of your pelvic bone. In that position, you'll feel your back arch away from the mat. You may, not everyone will be able to get your hand in between your back and your mat. Breathe out and roll your marble back to the center of your clock face. Keep those abdominals drawn in and bring your arms up to the ceiling. They're going to be shoulder width apart, so your wrist and your elbows are above your shoulders. You can feel your shoulders moving in, melting into the mat. And we're going to breathe in, and on the out breath, reach the right arm up to the ceiling. You're going to feel the back of the shoulder blades come up, the shoulder blade come off the mat and come back down, and go again on the other arm. So you'll see again that shoulder blade on the left side drawing away off the mat and back down, and keep going on each side, keeping the mind-body connection on two parts, the very end of your hands and the fingertips, like as you try and reach to the ceiling, and around the shoulder blades as you draw your shoulders up away one by one off the mat and back into the mat again. And we're going to do 2 more times, and we just want to make sure we've done an even amount on both sides. Really nice. Staying in this position, I want you to breathe in, draw your abs in, make sure you've got that lovely abdominal connection. We're now going to send the right arm behind us. Just send it back, reaching away from your shoulder blade, out from the shoulder joint, sorry, and back up to the top. And again, we're just doing the prep move here. Reach that left arm away. Really elongate that arm out of the joint. This time, right arm and the left leg. So draw those abs in, no movement in the hips as you send that left leg away and the right arm behind you. And we bring them both back in on the in-breath. And again, on the out-breath, we reach away. Really focusing on the length you create from the ends of your fingertips to the ends of your toes. And back. Really feeling the foot draw along the floor as you breathe out. Those abdominals keeping your hips lovely and stable as you go on each side. And again, with this move, we're going to do 1 more on each side. Reaching away and coming back. And 1 more time, the other side. So you can see we're building mind-body connection with the abdominals, trying now to keep those hips lovely and still. Bring your arms down by your side. And we're also focusing on elongation. And we keep it back of our head and our neck on the mat, and our neck lovely and still. So for anyone with shoulder issues, we should be feeling lovely and safe in this position. Now we're going to draw those abs in once more and bring the left leg up to 90 degrees. So in our tabletop position, where your knee is directly above your hip and your shin is parallel to your floor. I want you to imagine you've got a pencil off the end of your knee, and we're going to start drawing a circle with our pencil on your ceiling. You're feeling the hip really heavy in the top of your femur, really heavy in the hip there, and you can really feel a circular movement, a stirring movement in that hip. Try and keep those circles lovely and slow. Work it with your breath and making sure those abs are keeping your hips lovely and stable. We're going to go back around the other way. So just waking up the hips, waking up down in the lower back, and now in our hips. Lower that leg down. Breathe in, abs drawn in on the out breath. We lift the other leg up to tabletop. And once again, nice circular movements. You can start off small and make them bigger and bigger, but not too big that you feel the back of your hip bones coming off the mat or your hips coming out of alignment. Just make sure that your femur or the top of your thigh bone feels heavy in your hips, and you can feel that lovely stirring movement in the hip joint. Let's go back round the other way. The other foot lovely and light on the mat, and the arms lovely and light on the mat. Another 3 and 2 and 1 foot down. We're now going to wake up the spine a little bit more. So this time I want you to breathe in, draw the abs in, and roll your marble down to your sternum into flat back. Breathe in, engage your abdominals, start lifting the tailbone off the floor. And I want you to start peeling your spine all the way up, 1 vertebra at a time. Keep your shoulders in the back of the head, melting into the mat. Keep your feet lovely and light and your knees at hip width apart. See if you can press those hip bones to the ceiling a little bit more. And on your next out breath, we're going to roll back down to the mat from the top of your back down to the bottom, landing every vertebra one at a time where you can. And being mindful where the vertebra may be coming down in little sections or in little combinations. Come back, the hips land on the mat, come back into neutral spine. We're going to do that one more time. Breathe in on the out breath, flat back. Breathe in, engage your abs and your glutes, start lifting your tailbone and peel your spine up one vertebra at a time, all the way to the top. When you get to the top, really squeeze those glutes a little bit more, give those hips lovely press up to the ceiling. Taking a few breaths there, release between your shoulder blades, allow your spine to come in contact with the mat and roll back down one vertebra at a time. Taking your time, when your hips come in contact with the mat, come into neutral spine. Take the arms out to the side, bring your feet and knees together. Take a lovely breath in and drop your feet, knees over to the left. Keep your shoulders in contact with the mat. Turn your head only if it's comfortable in the direction of your left hand. You don't have to be able to see it. Just make sure you're just trying to get some movement in your neck. Don't worry if your knees don't come all the way down to the floor. That's okay. It's more important you keep your shoulders on the mat. Breathe in, draw the abs in, and use your abdominal strength to bring the knees back up and over to the other side. Lower your knees first as far as they can go, and then turn your head to look at the right hand. And take a lovely couple of breaths in here. Bring the knees up to the top and take them back out at hip width apart, and bring your arms by your side. We're just going to do a little bit more of a stretch there in the hips. I want you to bring the right knee to the chest, draw that knee towards you, keeping the head lovely and melting into the mat, and send the other leg away. Circle in the ankle, using the end of your big toe as a pencil, drawing big circles. Keep drawing that knee down towards the chest as you circle the ankles the other way. And lower the leg. Bring up the left knee towards your chest, holding on to the front, drawing the knees in. Again, you can start circling in the ankle as you send the right leg away this time. Nice big circles in one direction and back around the other way. Really, really nice. And we're going to lower that leg. Now we're going to come up with control. We're going to come over onto one side and we're going to walk up to sitting. And we're going to take hold of our bands. And we're just going to do for this session today a little bit more mobility through our spine using the band. So with the band around your 2 feet, up high on your sit bones, keep your chin parallel to the floor so your neck is in alignment with the rest of your spine. Breathe in, draw your abs in, so hollow through the abdominals there. Come onto your tailbone. Draw the shoulders towards your knees, using the band to draw you closer. So you create a C shape in your spine. Come off your tailbone and draw your abs in a little bit more. And using the band, come down bit by bit, trying to land every single vertebra one at a time until your head's back on the floor. Now, if you've got neck injury or problems, that may be more than enough for your neck right now. So we're going to take the left foot out and bring the right foot up. I want your knee and ankle directly above your hip, foot lovely and flexed. Take hold of the band in the same hand as the foot and slowly draw that band towards you. Now you don't want the knee bent, okay? So and I don't need the whole of the leg on the top of your chest. You go within your own range of movement. You'll feel a stretch down the back of the upper thigh there in your hamstrings. Keep that foot flexed and keep drawing. Don't force anything. Just breathe into that stretch. Couple more breaths. Bend that knee and release, and pop the left leg in. And we do the same on the other side. So you can send that leg up lovely and long, foot flexed. Slowly draw the top of that leg to the top of the torso. Again, going in within your own range of movement. If you feel tight, just hold it there. If you feel the muscle starting to relax, you can bring the band a little bit closer. Just take a few more breaths in there as we just want to just reintroduce our body to some key stretches. We can't cover everything in this short time. So some mobility through the spine, in the hips, some shoulder work, and a little bit in the back of the legs is a nice place to start. So take the band in each hand, bend the knee once again, and take the band off. Again, pop it to one side, come onto your side one more time, and come up to sit in. Now you can have your legs crossed out in front or the soles of your feet together. Just sit with how is comfortable for you. Draw those abs in, feel your spine beautifully long, your crown of the head reaching from the ceiling and the tailbone coming down towards the floor. Draw the shoulder blades down your back and pop your hands each side. Just a small move as we bring now our left ear, or I'm going on the right here, the right ear to your right shoulder. And it's just slow. You're not forcing anything. You're keeping the shoulders away, but just breathing into that stretch here. And then you come up and then very gently come over to the other side. So you're not forcing anything. You're allowing the weight of the head and your breath and time to just work its magic. And you can stay in this position for a couple of more seconds. You can stay here for up to a minute. See what works for you. And then bring your head up. Breathe in on the out breath. Turn, look over your left shoulder. Don't force anything. Come back to the front on your next out breath and look over the right. And come back to the front. I want you to interlace your hands and reach forward. Press those palms forward. Take the arms behind you. Reach those arms behind. I want you to stretch across the front of your shoulders here, drawing the shoulder blades together. Take a couple more breaths and we release. Show the palms to the ceiling. Take a gorgeous breath in through the nose, all the way into the pits of your abdominals there, and breathe out through the mouth. Keep those shoulders away from your ears. Keep the abs engaged. Breathe in, reach in again, really right down into the bottom of your abdominals. And on the out breath, feel those abdominals relax and release as you exhale. And one more time, take a beautiful breath in, arms reaching up, bring the palms together. Breathe out as you bring those palms down, the elbows wide, bring your thumbs to your chest. Take a beautiful breath in through the rib cage, just as we started, and out through your mouth. And again, breath in, you can feel the chest expand underneath your hands. And breathe out. Now find your own natural breathing rhythm, keeping those abs engaged, sitting up high on those sit bones and those shoulder blades gliding down your back. Few more breaths and you're done for this little gentle session.